Hey, English learners! Welcome back to another episode of English Talkers, where we discuss all things language learning. I'm your host, Teacher Sam, and today we're diving into a topic that many English learners struggle with, improving your accent. And who better to explore this with than my co-host Sarah? Have you ever wished you could speak English with a clear, confident accent? Imagine being able to express yourself effortlessly without worrying about mispronunciations or misunderstandings. Do you dream of sounding more like a native speaker? You're not alone. Many people around the world share this aspiration. Many English learners want to improve their pronunciation. They want to be understood clearly and to feel more confident in their speaking abilities. There's a fun and effective technique that can help. It's called shadowing. Shadowing involves listening to a native speaker and then trying to mimic their speech as closely as possible.
In fact, Teacher Sam, I'm super excited about today's topic. Accent can be a huge hurdle for many language learners, but we've got a technique that really works: shadowing. Shadowing is a powerful tool for improving your accent and boosting your fluency. By imitating the rhythm, intonation, and pronunciation of native speakers, you can train your ear and your mouth to produce more natural-sounding English. It's like having a personal accent coach right in your pocket. You can practice shadowing anytime, anywhere using podcasts, videos, or any other audio material featuring native speakers. In this video, we'll explore the ins and outs of shadowing. We'll discuss the best practices for getting started, how to choose the right materials, and tips for staying motivated, and show you how it can transform your English speaking skills. By the end, you'll have a clear understanding of how to use shadowing to take your English to the next level. So let's dive in and start mimicking our way to fluency.
What exactly is shadowing? Imagine this. You're listening to your favorite English speaker, maybe from a podcast or a TV show. As they speak, you speak along with them, trying your best to match their pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. That's shadowing in a nutshell.
Shadowing is like a workout for your mouth. It helps you train your muscles to produce English sounds more naturally. Think of it as a fun and engaging way to absorb the nuances of the language.
Shadowing is easy to learn. First, choose an audio or video clip with clear audio. Find something interesting to you, maybe a podcast about a hobby or a scene from a movie you love. Listen to a short part of the clip. Try to repeat what you hear.
Don't worry about being perfect at first. Just focus on mimicking the speaker as best as you can. As you practice more, you'll find yourself naturally copying their rhythm and intonation.
Why is shadowing so effective? It's a question many language learners ask. Think of it this way. When you learn a new sport, you don't just read about it or listen to someone talk about it. You watch how the pros do it, right? You observe their movements, their techniques, their strategies. You pay attention to every detail, and then you try to copy them. You practice over and over until your movements start to resemble theirs. Shadowing is similar. You're essentially training your mouth to move in the same way native speakers do. It's like a workout for your tongue and vocal cords.
By repeatedly mimicking native speech patterns, you're not just learning words and phrases. You're internalizing the rhythm, the intonation, the melody of the language. You're essentially rewiring your brain to process and produce English sounds more naturally. This deep level of practice helps your brain form new neural pathways. This leads to a more authentic and fluent accent. Over time, your speech becomes more fluid, more natural, and more confident. Just like an athlete who trains daily to perfect their skills, you too can train your tongue and brain to master a new language. The key is consistency and dedication. The more you practice shadowing, the more your brain and mouth will adapt. So, keep at it. With time and effort, you'll notice significant improvements in your pronunciation and overall fluency. Remember, every great athlete started as a beginner. Train your tongue like an athlete, and you'll achieve your language goals.
You need to listen like a hawk and speak like a native. Active listening is key to successful shadowing.
Don't just passively listen to the audio. Pay close attention to the speaker's pronunciation of each word, their intonation, and the way they connect words together. Try to notice the subtle nuances in their speech.
The more you listen and mimic, the more you'll internalize the natural rhythms and melodies of the language. This will make your English sound smoother and more natural. Shadowing for beginners. Easy does it. Just starting with shadowing?
Don't worry, it's easier than you think. Begin with short, simple audio clips. Children's stories or podcasts for English learners are great options.
Focus on 1 or 2 sentences at a time. Repeat them several times until you feel comfortable.
Remember, the goal is not to sound perfect right away, but to get comfortable with the process and gradually improve your pronunciation.
I want you to know that recording and replaying are very important in improving accent. So, be your own accent coach. One of the best ways to track your progress with shadowing is to record yourself. This method allows you to hear your own voice and compare it to the native speaker's pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm. By doing this, you can pinpoint specific areas that need improvement.
Use your phone or computer to record yourself shadowing a short audio clip. Choose a clip that is challenging but not too difficult, so you can focus on mastering the nuances of the accent. Make sure you are in a quiet environment to avoid background noise. Then, listen back to the recording. Pay close attention to how your pronunciation matches up with the original. Are there certain sounds that you consistently mispronounce? Is your intonation rising and falling in the same way as the native speakers? Compare your pronunciation to the original speakers. Take notes on the differences you hear. This will help you focus on specific areas during your next practice session. It's also helpful to use a notepad to jot down any patterns or recurring issues you notice.
Recording yourself helps you identify areas where you can improve. It provides a clear, objective way to measure your progress over time. You can keep a library of your recordings to track your development and see how far you've come. You might notice that you're struggling with certain sounds or that your intonation needs work. This is completely normal and part of the learning process. Identifying these challenges is the first step towards overcoming them.
Don't be afraid to listen back and critique yourself. It's all part of the learning process. Constructive self-criticism is essential for improvement. Remember, every recording is a learning opportunity. Celebrate your progress no matter how small, and keep pushing yourself to get better.
Consistency is key. Practice makes perfect. Just like any skill, improving your accent with shadowing takes time and effort.
The key is to be consistent with your practice. Even just 10 to 15 minutes of shadowing per day can make a big difference over time.
Make shadowing a part of your daily routine. You can shadow while you're cooking, exercising, or commuting.
The more you practice, the more natural and effortless your English will sound.
Explore the world of accents. Don't be afraid to experiment. English has many different accents, each with its own unique charm.
Don't be afraid to experiment with shadowing different accents. You could try shadowing speakers from the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, or anywhere else English is spoken.
Exploring different accents will not only make your shadowing practice more interesting, but also help you develop a more flexible and adaptable accent. I'm sure you are ready to start shadowing your accent transformation today. Shadowing is a fun, effective, and accessible way to improve your English accent and boost your fluency.
By consistently mimicking native speakers, you'll train your mouth to produce English sounds more naturally, leading to clearer, more confident communication.
So, what are you waiting for? Put on your headphones, find an audio clip that inspires you, and start shadowing your way to a clearer, more confident English voice. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Make sure to subscribe for more tips on learning English and improving your communication skills. See you in our next video.